Welcome, everybody. Best, the greatest, all time. The game of all time. It's Crusade on Roblox. Welcome, welcome. We're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to be hanging out for probably a little bit. So buckle in. Ilmenite giveaways will be towards the end of the stream for people who have stayed the whole time. So we will start them, but keep in mind, you might not get your reward if you leave the stream. Keep the stream open, or you will not get your reward. E1 Ilmenite. All right, guys, first of all, thank you so much for your patience. I know it's been a crazy day since we opened, and it's been just absolutely insane with how massive of an update it is. Very massive. Maybe a little too big for some people. Okay, we're going to go through it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to basically explain the thought process behind why we did what we did, exactly what was changed, exactly how it was changed, and most importantly, why it was changed. And hopefully that'll help you guys understand what the issues are, and kind of understand the update just a little bit better. As I load into the assassin capital of Alamut. So, new players will be spawning in their faction capital now. That's a pretty big part of the update. But for the purposes of this, I am going to... Oh, no base. I'm going to go to Jerusalem. And actually, somebody just spawned. Let's see who that is. Not sure why the Alamut music isn't working. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. There is Paul. Welcome, Paul. I guess I'm gonna swap over to some custom lines music with the... I'm gonna switch over to some custom Lionheart's music. They're awesome lo-fi anthology of... Perfect. Okay. A little loud. And we're going to get right into these patch notes. Okay. All right. Let's go and share score. There we go. Perfect. Okay, great. So we're just gonna go through this. So this is the Panem Solum update. Yes, indeed. And essentially, these changes are entirely new, brand new to the game. So we're going to review them. Can I just get this part? I'm going to move this. That. Perfect. How readable is that? Looks pretty good to me. There we go. Perfect. Great. All right. Here's some previews. We got farms. We've got all this stuff. I need this music to be just a little bit more hype. Okay. Dream safe, medieval music. Getting the music right. Important. All right. All right, here we go. We're starting with the Panem Solum patch notes. And we're going to start. So this is a big one, but it's going to be kind of underrated in some ways, which I knew. Because people don't really care about stuff like this, but I wish you guys would care, because this could make the game blow up if it's used. So we try to incentivize this as much as possible. So essentially, you're able to invite other players into the game. And when you do that, you are given gold, and you're given contribution when they join your faction. So this is a direct incentive to just, yes, it's just a direct incentive to recruit to use this feature. And essentially, you know, this will allow us to spike on the Roblox algorithm. So if you use this feature, Roblox rewards us. Same with the join community prompt for people not in the community, and then Roblox's party system. So if you join your friends in a Roblox party, you will just be given contribution. I'm sorry, XP. You'll be given an XP multiplier just for being in a party with your friends on Roblox, a Roblox party. So the parties are up to 4, so that's already guaranteed 2 times XP. If you guys all did this right now with your friends, you'd be getting 3 times XP. So that's pretty massive. And Roblox rewards all these things, and these are things that are really important. One of the biggest reasons we did this update. So don't undervalue these things and the annoying pop-up that's going to come up every time when you join the game. Now for the controversial one. that a lot of people were upset about, which is understandable. New item, bread, which is automatically consumed at region battles and sieges as a supplement to the existing live system. With the weight capacity, capitals generate 2 per hour, side bases generate 1 per hour. All bread in the game automatically goes bad every week on Sunday. So that essentially disables it from being stockpiled. Not a good reference, but that makes it so bread cannot be hoarded. So you can't just sit back and do nothing and hoard bread for weeks and weeks and years. It goes bad. And the weight capacity is very heavy. It's not realistic. The reason the weight capacity is so high, we have to remember, guys, is because we want to balance this in region battles and where it's actually going to be. So ignore the fact that it's unrealistic. Think about it from a game balance perspective. That's why we have the weighted inventory system. You can also harvest this bread at these farms here. And that allows you to get extra bread on top of what's harvested. You can make about 1 bread or 2 bread every hour. The wheat will respawn every half hour. And we have a new item type called the scythe. You can mill, which produces the flour, and then you can bake for 3 flour. So bread's a very powerful tool. It brings a lot of strategy and dynamic elements to the game that we just honestly did not have. So keep going. We're going to explain how bread interacts with these systems a little bit more. Faction stockpiles will now grant you contribution for donating. So this is a massive change. If I go right now and I basically... I'm going to go in game and just show you guys this. So if I just go in game here, if I find my stockpile, show you guys exactly what happens. This is really awesome. It's something I've wanted in this game for absolutely ever. And because it incentivizes people to contribute to their faction. Instead of a game where the economy's super localized, which is kind of an issue we have, the economy actually relies on faction and player interactions. So, if I go here and I donate something, just keep in mind, as soon as I donate, it's going to go on cooldown. So I want to get a lot of stuff. So I'm going to deposit these cast iron ingots. They're item rarity 3. I'm going to deposit all of them, and it's going to give me contribution based on how many I donate. Oh, I guess the things I donated arrows. Interesting. So that's obviously a bug. But if I try again, I have to wait. So I have to wait 5 hours. It will still deposit it, but I won't get that contribution. I feel like the alert message was maybe just a mistake, but essentially, I'll get more contribution for whatever I donate. And Igubon is definitely aura farming. You can also talk to these stewards that Paint added that will explain what these stockpiles do. And that's really nice. Yeah, and that's kind of as it goes. Like, everything works in testing server, and then as soon as I try to show you guys in live game, of course, there's a minor bug. But that's okay. Yeah, so the higher the item rarity is, the more we're going to get. So, anyway, we're just going to continue through the patch notes. So, pretty massive stockpile changes. You also can get more contribution per 5-hour period, but the period has been moved up from 3 hours to 5. So, a high rank can give you up to 350 contribution at one time, but now you have to wait 5 hours. And this will also count towards contribution you get from the stockpile. So the max you can be given from a stockpile or a high rank in a 5-hour period is 350. So if you want more, then you want to give items in stacks, not give individual And I'm going to add that to the bug list so I remember. Fix that. And didn't apply. All right. And keep in mind, guys, we're going to be doing like a tutorial for these systems as well. And now for the rating system, which is something that, honestly, I think is probably the most fun about this update. Which is basically, you can now launch a raid. And so if you're a high rank... if you're a high rank, which I'm not, you essentially go into your faction menu, and you go to the statecraft option, and you press host raid. And once you do that... Once you basically launch the raid, let's do... Who hasn't been raided yet? Maybe... So he's going to type in Ascalon into the raiding thing, and then it's going to ping everybody in the server that's related to the raid. You click yes. You get teleported right to Ascalon, and it also pings the server, so you get repeated messages in-game. And now we're just going to demonstrate exactly how a raid works. So going through the patch notes, it's now going to put this base on cooldown, so it can't be raided again. We buff the cooldown, so these numbers are actually inaccurate. You get contribution, and the biggest thing you get is bread. And so this is an opportunity to not only gain bread from yourselves, but steal them from others. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to notice all the flags are owned by the defenders. The raid actually hasn't officially started, and they won't know about it until we capture this first flag. Once the first flag is captured, the raid officially starts. And these are all done in Conquest servers. So if you are patrolling your Conquest server, you can defend against a raid. You don't have to worry that's going to be in a secondary server or anything like that. It's always going to be in a Conquest server. You can see I just made it as well that your allies will be included. Although I think the Cypriots have... The Cypriots have decided that they're going to stop. And while we're in game, I'm going to demonstrate something else too, which is the KDR tracker now. So every NPC kill is going to account for 0.25, and every player kill is going to account for 1. And the all-time, basically all your kills versus all your deaths are now displayed and tracked as well in that thing. Once there's more than 5 kills, you'll show up on the leaderboard. So basically in, you know, in a region battle or whatever, you'll actually be able to track who's doing the best. And that's something like back in the old days, we used to have like the old Roblox leaderboard, and it was a really awesome way that you could basically tell who was doing good. So we've captured the main flag, and now you're going to see the Stockpile boss has spawned. So the objective for us is not actually to... the objective for us is not actually to take all the flags. We need to make sure we hold at least one flag, and then we need to kill the Stockpile boss. So if this defender recaptures this flag, we automatically lose. And if we kill the Stockpile boss, we automatically win. And that's basically all that really matters. Essentially is those two win conditions. Either you lose your flags and you lose, or you win by killing the Stockpile boss. We can capture all the flags and it doesn't matter. The only reason it matters is for spawning. So if you want to spawn closer to the Stockpile boss, that's why it matters. Oh, dude's popping some tonics. If you get parried by me while I'm looking at my baby that's looking at me through the door and elaborating on the patch notes, and you still get parried, that's probably the biggest skill issue you could ever have. Another cool thing we'll feature here is you guys will notice that we're automatically put into instance parties, just like it's a matchmaking map. This is just something that's going to make it a lot easier to tell who your allies are. So if you have that little green mark over their head, you know that they're your allies. This is going to happen in battles and sieges and region battles. In region battles, it won't show your allies. It'll only show your faction members. That's something we need to add in the future. But you can see the opposing faction has been notified. You don't have to be conservative. Like, these battles are meant to be fun. They're meant to be fast-paced. And there's no lives. So, essentially, you can just rush in there. It's 30 minutes max. If the defenders also hold out for 30 minutes, the attackers automatically lose. So, it's not going to go into, like, a super grindy, long-term thing. This is a very short-term, fast, run in, get the bread, and get out. And it's meant to be low consequence for losing. Like, if you lose 2 bread per person. So the max that they're going to lose is 10 bread. Now, 10 bread isn't nothing. But the difference now is that, you know, we have these kind of really high consequence battles everywhere in this game. And I wanted some faction v faction stuff through matchmaking and through raids that, yes, it's fun, but it doesn't feel like, man, we're really going to be screwed if we don't win this. And that's why we did it this way. One moment. All right, this might have to be continued later. But you can see like reinforcements are coming in, they're getting added to parties. And essentially we've got like a full PvP faction battle going. And they recapture the defense flag, so they win. And that's it. That's the end of the raid. So no bread was taken, and now that base is on cooldown. We can't raid that base again. But we could pick another base to raid. And we don't actually have to be at war with the faction that we're raiding. All we have to do is make sure we don't have a non-aggression pact with them, and we can raid. So this just allows for more frequent faction-to-faction interactions. And you can see I'm just automatically sent back to my Conquest server. And that's it. That's the whole raiding system. So that's the first section of the patch notes. We're going to get to region battles. We're going to get to everything else in the live stream later, likely. But for now, I'm going to choose the Ilmenite reward winners. Hopefully that explains these first initial systems. We've got a lot more to get through. Hopefully I can get that done later today. But ultimately, guys, I just want to say thank you. I personally think these raids are super, super fun. I had a blast doing one just now. I had a blast doing one last night. And you can see we're actually being raided. This is how fun this system is, guys. Essentially, we started a raid, and immediately after it's over, now we're getting raided. And so if they capture E Point, you're going to see another raid is spawned. So just patrolling your base, waiting for recruits to spawn, waiting for raids to happen, and also staying in matchmaking queue where you're just going to earn contribution just for being in queue. There's just so much more to do in the game now than there was before. But anyway, guys, speaking of Christmas, I have some family time. I've been working nonstop on this update. Yeah, we'll be continuing to do patches. We'll be continuing to work on things. And you guys can see, if we just stop them from taking the flag, the raid never starts. And if the raid never starts, then they can't obviously win the bread. So we can just throw them out by just keeping them from capturing this flag. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas Eve and Christmas. If I don't get to finish the stream later to go through the rest of these systems, we'll have to do it another time. Oh, and you guys can actually hear the new ambient zone, the coast ambient zones, where you can see whenever I'm close to anywhere in the ocean, we're hearing now ocean music. Where is this flag? Oh, the stinky French tried to capture our flag. Well, guys, have a great rest of your day, and Merry Christmas. The winner of the giveaway is Django Productions. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Thank you. And please read through the patch notes yourself if you're confused about anything, and stay tuned for more.